support them, to encourage professional development that gets teachers really comfortable with taking advantage of that technology. I think we're moving into much more user-generated content with virtual pre-K, but it's still, there's a segment of teachers, the younger teachers are very comfortable and are the ones that are participating in our blog, and others that are, holding back and still want a printed copy. Yes?
I think I missed when you might have mentioned what the cost was to the end user, to the preschools. Is there a cost for that?
There's no cost. Each one of the partners and in Chicago Public Schools, we fund the program through the central office, and then the kit is put into the classroom as part of the lending library, and then implemented with the parents for free. And also we put the kits in the library as well. So there's no cost associated with either participating on the website or accessing the resources at the parent level.
But you used to be able to buy those for I think $20 years ago.
You
and it was
still
with
can.
the video.
You still can. Are you from Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay. You still can. So a parent who wants to have their own version of their own kit is able to do that. And a parent version of the kit, which includes the 2 DVDs and recipe cards, is $30. So that includes the 2 hours of DVD and all of the activity cards that go along with the program in the box. But we don't really promote that as something that parents have to do, that they have to buy it. It's accessible through their classrooms or through the community, and those that want to purchase it certainly are able to, but you can borrow it very easily from different locations. Yes?
Do all of your schools in Chicago have pre-K? Is it 3-year-old your cutoff level, or is it 4-year-old?
Priority is given to 4-year-olds. Preschool in Chicago is for 3 to 5, but the priority is given for 4-year-olds. It's not in every school, no, and oftentimes our biggest challenge is finding the space in the schools to be able to provide for the need that we know is there. One of our biggest growing programs within Chicago is called our Community Partnerships, which is a partnership between Chicago Public Schools and community-based preschool programs, where we provide professional development and a certified teacher within the building. And so there's kind of a mix of what's happening in that community-based agency, but we're trying to really ratchet up what's going on there so that those children are just as prepared as the children that are in our school-based preschool programs. But the biggest challenge is dollars and also location. And not all schools are able to set aside that space, and also the requirements that are needed for the room, little toilets and things like that. There's some challenges around finding space for those preschoolers.
How many of your 1,600 teachers are using virtual?
94% as of last year. So again, that may be through just the manual printed. That may be they're one of the bloggers online. Because they're able to access it from different ways, that doesn't mean that everybody's using all the pieces of the technology, but 94% are accessing the resource and integrating it into what they're doing through one of the channels. And we see that, I think, the most success that we've had is because we're promoting with those take-home packages and connecting with all the teachers twice a year at least to let them know that this is there, and these kids are already in their classrooms and they've had training on how to use it.
So you're connecting twice a year through internal professional development going on in CBS, and you have how many pre-K teachers that are school-based?
I think there's 800 that are school-based. And so, yes, we connect. They have they have monthly teacher meetings, and so we go out to those teacher meetings and present as one component of their professional development twice a year.
And do they just teach pre-K? They don't teach K as well? These are just...
Correct. Yes, in Chicago, they're just pre-K. And it's a little bit different with our kindergarten teachers and the virtual kindergarten program, which I mentioned. Our pre-K program is organized more centrally, so those teachers are coming out and getting together as a group of pre-K teachers. Once you get into kindergarten, those teachers are receiving their professional development at the site level, and the principal's deciding what is going to be happening as far as professional development. And oftentimes, the principal is bringing in professional development and saying, and sort of adapt this for kindergarten, that it's really meant for upper grades, and kindergarten teachers are having to get creative and see, well, how does this apply to me? So it's been a little bit more challenging reaching teachers in kindergarten, and we have certain citywide professional development days where we reach out to the principals and say, could you let your kindergarten teacher, instead of staying at your site-based for whatever you're offering, would you be willing to let them come and have something that's really just kindergarten focused? And so that's been very, very popular. But it's more complicated because they don't come out as a large group all at once. It has to be kind of, one day, 3 times a year, and we can service about 40 or 50 teachers a day. Yes.
Your partnerships with other school districts, you mentioned that they do pay a licensing fee, and that covers your development costs to do the customization, and a little extra, it sounds like, if you're using that funding to also support development of future stuff. So where does that money come from in their budgets? Is that out of their textbook money, or?
It varies. I can give you a couple of examples. I know in Washoe County, which is the Reno area of Nevada, they're doing virtual pre-K statewide, but it's based out of Washoe County, and virtual pre-K is funded through a PERC grant, Parent Information and Resource Center grant. That's true in California as well, in Southern California. In Philadelphia, virtual pre-K is mostly funded from a grant from Wachovia Bank. They presented the resource to Wachovia, and Wachovia was interested in reaching out at the pre-K level, and so it's funded that way. So it varies, but it's primarily grant funded, and then in some cases I think that it is also using curriculum and textbook dollars. But oftentimes, because the kind of initial development and implementation is kind of a larger undertaking, they tend to go after a grant. A district will go after a grant to fund it.
You said it's Parent Information and Resource, what was the name?
Parent Information and Resource Center grant. That's a federal grant.